कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी हे यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदा यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please leave there. Aman Sapir. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Bolo. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Bolo, Hare Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Pateta Pavana Gaura Hare, Oh Pateta Pavana Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Oh Pateta Pavana Gaura Hare, Hare Haraye Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudhan, Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan, Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, bolo Nitai Gauranga, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privajagacharya Ashtotara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, प्रभुपाद अनुगा की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीर उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, text 33, Canto 2, Chapter 9. Answers by citing the Lord's version. I repeat again, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 33, the beginning of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. If you have got your phones you want to refer to, and those who are online, 2.9.33. Ahameva sameva gre na anyad yat sadasat param paschat aham yadetacha jo abhishyeta so asmi aham. Please repeat. Ahameva sameva gre nanyat yat sat asat param paschat aham yadetacha yo avishyeta so asmi aham. Ahameva sameva gre nanyad sadasat param paschataham yadetacha yo avishyeta so asmiham. Aham, I, the personality of Godhead, eva, certainly, asam, existed, eva, only, agre, before the creation, na, never, anyat, anything else, yet, all those, sat, the effect, asat, the cause, param, the supreme, paschat, at the end, aham, I, the personality of Godhead, yet, all these, etat, creation, cha, also, yah, everything, avishyeta, remains, saha, that, asmi, I am, aham, I, the personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. Purport: we should note very carefully that the personality of Godhead is addressing Lord Brahma and specifying with great emphasis Himself, pointing out that it is He, the personality of Godhead, who existed before the creation. It is He only who maintains the creation, and it is He only who remains after the annihilation of the creation. Brahma is also a creation of the Supreme Lord. The impersonalist puts forth the theory of oneness in the sense that Brahma, also being the same principle of I, because he is an emanation from the I, the absolute truth, is identical with the Lord, the principle of I, and that there is thus nothing more than the principle of I, as explained in this verse. Accepting the argument of the impersonalist, it is to be admitted that the Lord is the creator, I, and that the Brahma is the created I. Therefore, there is a difference between the two I's, namely the predominator and the predominated I. Therefore, there are still two I's, even accepting the argument of the impersonalist. But we must note carefully that these two I's are accepted in the Vedic literature Kathopanishad in the sense of quality. The Kathopanishad says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. The creator I and the created I are both accepted in the Vedas as qualitatively one, because both of them are Nityas and Chetanas. But the singular I is the creator I, and the created I's are the plural number, because there are many I's. Like Brahma and those generated by Brahma, it is the simple truth. The Father creates or begets a son, and the Son also creates many other sons. All of them may be one as human beings, but at the same time, from the Father, the Son and the grandsons are all different. The Son cannot take the place of the Father, nor can the grandsons. Simultaneously, the Father, the Son, and the grandson are one and different also. As human beings, they are one, but as relativities, they are different. Therefore, the relativities of the Creator and the created or their predominator and the predominated have been differentiated in the Vedas by saying that the predominator I is the feeder of the predominated I's. And thus there is a vast difference between the two principles of I. In another feature of this verse, no one can deny the personalities of both the Lord and Brahma. Therefore, in the ultimate issue, both the predominator and the predominated are persons. This conclusion refutes the conclusion of the impersonalist that in the ultimate issue everything is impersonal. This impersonal feature stressed by the less intelligent impersonalist school is refuted by pointing out that the predominator I is the absolute truth and that he is a person. The predominated I, Brahma, is also a person, but he is not the absolute. For realization of one's self in spiritual psychology, it may be convenient to assume oneself to be the same principle as the absolute truth. But there is always a difference of the predominated and the predominator, as clearly pointed out here in this verse, which is grossly misused by the impersonalists. Brahma is factually seeing face to face his predominated Lord, who exists in his transcendental eternal form even after the annihilation of the material creation. The form of the Lord as seen by Brahma existed before the creation of Brahma, and the material manifestation with all the ingredients and agents of material creation are also energetic expansions of the Lord. And after the exhibition of the Lord's energy comes to a close, what remains is the same personality of Godhead. Therefore, the form of the Lord exists in all circumstances of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. The Vedic hymns confirm this fact in the statement Vasudevo va idam agra asin na brahmana shankara eko narayana asin na brahmaneshana, etc. Before the creation there was none except Vasudeva. There was neither Brahma nor Shankara. Only Narayana was there and no one else. Neither Brahma nor Ishana. Sripada Shankaracharya also confirms in his comments on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayana, or the personality of Godhead, is transcendental to all creation, but that the whole creation is the product of Avyakta. Therefore, the difference between the created and the creator is always there, although both the created and the created are of the creator of the same quality. You are already sleeping. And this is a very long purport, so I will not read the entire purport. I will just handle this portion alone. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakhitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It may seem a very complicated philosophical and technical analysis that Prabhupada is giving. And you may think it's not necessary. I believe in God. I take it for Krishna. It's okay. I don't need to be explained all these things. A simple belief sometimes is not enough. Because when you get attacked by other people who are not so simple, if you don't know the detail, you will simply kill your faith. Don't be too simple, because you will simply die. You have to learn some things. Some basic information you must have about who is God. When somebody asks you, you must know who is God. And you must know it well. You must know the philosophy. As human beings, we have capacity, intelligent capacity to understand properly why Krishna is saying so here. Aham eva sameva gre. In the beginning, I only existed. In the end, I only exist. In fact, I am the only existence. Appo na ennadu? Who am I? Of course, I don't agree with this. I also exist. That's why the statement is being made. You should know what you think. You think something different. So you think something different. If you examine it against what is being told, you will know, I don't exist. You should ask these questions. That's why these things are put here. You can't simply say, I exist, God also exists, I believe in God, and then very simple belief sometimes is not enough. That's why you should read Bhagavad Gita. This is called Sambandha Gyan, Sambandha Tattvam. That what is my relationship with God? For that you must understand God and you must understand you. If you don't understand these two things, you cannot understand the relationship. That is why Prabhupada is taking so much pains to explain. And you must also take pains to read and understand. Don't breeze through. It's okay, I believe, I don't need. People who talk like that cannot preach much. Because in the outside world, people know more things about these things. That is Mayavada. Prabhupada is first attacking Mayavad philosophy. Right in the beginning only. Mayavadis will tell you this. They will tell you that I means we. I, this I and that I, all same I. Prabhupada saying, no, two I's are already there. That means Mayavad defeated. Everything is not one. Already two I's are there. Brahma I and Krishna I. Tene Brahma Hridayadikave Muhyanti Yat Suraya. Brahma is reporting that Krishna spoke from my heart. Therefore, two people are involved. So it's not same. It's not one. Right in the beginning itself is defeated. Everything is not one. But that supreme absolute truth, He is the origin of everything. That doesn't mean your individuality is denied. Yours is a dependent individuality. The Lord's is an independent individuality. Abhijñah Swarat. Fully conscious, independent personality. But we are all not fully conscious, independent. Chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. We are all dependent on that one supreme vidadhati kaman. One who gives dhata to everybody. We are dependent on them. On Him. Nobody is independent. There is only one independent person. That is why Independence Day celebration means something else. You should celebrate Krishna's independence only. You cannot celebrate independence for yourself in each one of you. That's another topic. Anyway. So here Krishna is explaining. People make lot of mistakes. They make mistake that I and me are same God is one and all that mistake, which Prabhupada is pointing out here. Prabhupada doesn't, mince any words in speaking the correct thing, whoever you may be. If you have spoken something that is against the Shastra, he will point it out and say, no, this is not right. It does not matter. Speaking the truth should be spoken without fear. You must say the truth. And you must know the truth in order to say the truth. You must not think you know the truth. And you must not think that it's okay, whatever I know, according to my faith I will speak. You must get to know the details. Otherwise you will end up producing so many ideologies of your own. And that is why Krishna is saying, Sakala Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. Over a period of time, it got lost because all these fellows screwed it up. That alone he did not say in that shloka. How will it get lost? Because of these fellows. All these living entities. All my children, they screwed it up. They did this, speculated that and made some other philosophy. So everywhere this is possible. Even in the Krishna conscious movement, people will come with different philosophy sometimes. And then Prabhupada has shut it down. At one point of time, they said Prabhupada is incarnation of Krishna. Sannyasis, they went around saying, you are not respecting him properly, that's why he has gone back to India, he is not coming here. He is actually incarnation. Prabhupada got very disturbed. He got very, I am teaching and writing all these books for you and you are landing up telling I am incarnation. He was very angry. In fact, he did many things, we can't discuss all that here. He made it very clear, no. See, Prabhupada is very clear, don't try to make me God, I am not God. I am a servant God. I want to introduce you to God. And God is this, ahameva sameva agre. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajate maam buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna is revealing himself in Bhagavad Gita. God, you can get to know from Bhagavad Gita. He is telling. And he is telling it's not so easy to understand. Somewhere here, before Krishna starts speaking to Brahma, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Jnanam Paramaguhyam Me Yad Vijnana Samanvitam Sa Rahasyam Tad Angam Cha Grahana Gaditam Maya. Very beautiful shloka. Before he starts speaking to Brahma, Brahma is asking questions right in the beginning of creation. He has discovered Krishna and he is shaking hands with him and he tells you, my Lord, you are very merciful to me, you shook hands with me. And you presented yourself in front of me in full form. Right? I want to know how I should do my seva. Who are you? Who am I? All these things I should know very well. So Krishna is saying, in the beginning, Jnanam Paramaguhyam Me. This knowledge about me is Paramaguhyam. Very, very confidential. See, the personality of God had said, knowledge about me as described in the scriptures is very confidential. And it has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. Sa rahasyam. It is mentioned here. Sa rahasyam tadangam cha. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up carefully. Then he speaks, ahameva sameva agre. In the beginning I only existed, in the end I only existed. Like that. He's giving the philosophy of his existence. So we must know who is God properly. There is a philosophy behind it. If you make a mistake, you will say, Prabhupada, God, this not. Don't think you can say all these things whimsically, whatever you think. You cannot say all that. Especially if you are a devotee of Krishna, you must know what Krishna has told. Prabhupada got very disturbed. He corrected this whole thing. See, when they went to Prabhupada to ask Prabhupada, we want to write your biography. You may leave the planet very soon. Prabhupada immediately said, what is necessary for that? Our business is to propagate Krishna consciousness. I have written about Krishna in my books. You teach everybody about Krishna from my books. Can you imagine this? He didn't say, yes, right, biography, very good. Generations of people should know me. I am so great. He gave this answer. What is the necessity? He asked this question. Then they told him, Prabhupada, if they read your life as a devotee, as a Vaishnava, they'll all get inspired to be Vaishnava and worship Krishna. You are a wonderful model of they explained, no? After they explained, he said, okay, then okay. If it will help to propagate Krishna consciousness, then okay. They took his permission, then only wrote biography. And he said, why? Why should he write my biography? He was a very humble person. I am a nobody. It's all been spoken by all the great acharyas, my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Thakur, Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, and Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, all of the Goswamis, great Vishwanath Chakravarti. Who am I? I am just presenting it in English. He's thinking very simply about himself. Right? Same thing happened. If you don't understand God properly, you will make somebody else God. People are very eager to make somebody God. You'll say everybody, founder is a God. Is worshipped and everything. But why do we worship Prabhupada? Why do we worship Prabhupada? As a devotee, we worship him. He's a Bhagavata devotee. Krishna will be pleased. So we worship. Not because Prabhupada said, worship me, touch my feet. No, he did not say that. Some big person here, big founder of a movement here, distributing to all the children in their school my lotus feet picture. Whenever you are afraid, please hold this to your heart and chant this mantra, which is about me. What complete nonsense actually. You have to introduce people to Krishna. Krishna is speaking that in Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhava mad bhaktah madhyaji mam namaskuru. That is why Prabhupada has established International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Underneath he said, founder Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you must write. And when they said that, no, Swamiji, Krishna consciousness, and you must write God consciousness. He said, no, God is Krishna. Krishna consciousness. Very specific. Very specific. You see, that's what's happened. Over a Sakala Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. You must understand this very well. Christianity, you say, for instance, I'm not criticizing any religion. Nice teachings Jesus Christ gave. He spoke about God. We don't know what happened so many years back. Nice things he spoke. He brought people to God. And the history, if you read that, is a very sincere devotee. Want people to understand God. But what they did, no, they made him God. They made him God. Can you see over a period of time? There's only one deity they have, Christ hanging on the cross. They'll keep on this thing. I'm not criticizing anybody. But it's called deification. Making him a deity. Naturally made it. They'll just, in the name of the Christ, they'll commit all sorts of this thing and confess. They'll do everything is rationalized. But if you talk about God, they don't have enough information. But he spoke about God to all of you. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. God is like this. Not he spoke. Finally, after he left, they made him God. Can you see that? And the religion is called Christianity. It's about Christ. But Prabhupada's name, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Of course, it came to be known as Christianity. Whatever Jesus Christ spoke, nobody knows really. But finally you have this. Everywhere you go to the church, his statue will be there. Where is God? Where is God? Because I went to one of these interfaith conferences where there were Christians. It was a Christian Gaudiya Vaishnava and Sri Vaishnava dialogue. I thought it was very interesting. He told one of our devotees who's done his PhD in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Thank you. One who's done his PhD in this presented a paper on love of God, Prema. Very beautiful paper. But Lord Chaitanya's philosophy, everything. And when he distributed it, one of those, bishops said, such a beautiful paper. I like it very much. I never knew God like this with the relationship of prema, love and all that. He openly said it. And then I'm eager to read these things about God. Because in our religion, we don't know much about God. We are only told to do service to humanity. Jesus Christ told, love them as I have loved you. Serve them as I have served you. They take that commandment. Jesus also, in the commandment also says, love thy Lord as thyself. It says about love God and all that Lord. Otherwise, this only they have taken. They made it like a social organization. And Jesus Christ is the founder of this thing is become the most important. Right? So, we must understand very carefully who is God. Because God is speaking. And a representative of God will say, worship God. Don't worship me. You must worship God. But still, we worship. Because there's no difference between worshipping a pure, completely 100% surrendered devotee of the Lord. He's the same as the Lord. Worshipping Him means worshipping God in one sense. With that idea we worship. Because He has introduced us to God. And He is asking us to chant Hare Krishna. He is asking us to serve God, establish a temple, put the deity of the Lord, develop your Krishna consciousness, develop your love for God is His instruction. He did not say worship me and make me Prabhupada-anity, some another Christianity, Prabhupadanity, another movement. No. Told us very clearly, this is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Worship Krishna. So when you try to even write his biography or make him great, he cut it down and said, no, this is not about me. I am one person coming in the line in the parampara to do this. So you must understand what Krishna is telling. That is what the Acharyas speak. Right from Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kaveye, Brahma is speaking that. To his son, he is correcting his son, no, it's not me. Even his son is telling, Narada is saying, it may be you are the Supreme. And then he is also telling to Krishna, sometimes I feel I am this thing, please help me. It's their material nature is so strong, it makes me feel that I may be the person. Here, I'll read that to you. See, Yavat Sakha Sakhyur Iveshate Kritah Praja Visarge Vibhajami Bhojanam Aviklavaste Parikarmani Stito Ma Me Samunadha Madho Aja Maninah. O my Lord, the unborn, you have shaken hands with me just as a friend does with a friend, as if equal in position. I shall be engaged in the creation of different types of living entities and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride as if I were the Supreme. I should not think like that. Then he is asking that, and before he is explaining this to his son Narada, who was told, I think you are the Supreme. People will come and tell you, and you will also think like this. And then it's finished. For Brahma, his son is telling, Papa, I think you are the Creator, Supreme. From what you are doing, I think so. Now he is also feeling, because that is the type of service he has. But still, he is overcoming all that and telling his son, no, I am not. And he is speaking to the Lord and saying, makes me feel I am the Supreme. Please correct it. I know it is not. How will I remain without this feeling? So this is a great tendency in the conditioned soul, because he has come here to imitate the Lord. Prabhupada explains in the second canto, in the purport. He says the living entity has come here in order to imitate the Supreme Lord. You all want to be one small Krishna at least, little Krishna. Prabhupada says they are all like little Krishnas in the material world. Krishna is okay, you enjoy. Like small children are okay, you enjoy. You want to be like me? You enjoy. The son, the daughter, small, Amma, I also want to cook. Okay, here I'll buy some vessels for you. You also cook. I also want to do everything that you are doing. Children, all of you come after cooking, I'll give you this thing. She put her doll here and they'll feed and all that. And the mother is watching and smiling. Because you want to do that. You want to imitate and be like the father, be like the mother. Same way, you also want to imitate Krishna. So Krishna has created this place. He said, okay, little Krishna, you have the experience. Go. So this desire is already there in you. You have come here with the desire to be the Supreme. How can you get liberated with the philosophy that you are the Supreme? If you have come, because of the tendency, you have come into the material world. How can you get liberated if you expand that tendency, I am God? If you say, how will you get liberated? You came to the jail by committing a crime. How can you commit another crime and leave the jail? The same crime for which you came inside, you cannot commit in the jail and expect to be released. That is the means of going out of the jail, is to warden a konnu, even a konnu, ellam konnu, I'll go. But you konnified and came inside here. You killed only and came inside. You understand? So Prabhupada is saying the Mayamadis will not get out because they are thinking they are God. Very important to know this. Very important to know that you cannot be God and get out of this material world. You can only be a servant of God and get out of this material world. That is the way to liberate. Muktir hitvan yatarupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Mukti means understanding your original swarupa. Who are you? I am. What does it say? What should you say? Somebody asks you, who are you? What is Lord Chaitanya taught you? Jivere Surupa hoi Krishnere Nityadasa. This one must know. This will give you liberation. Not only that you repeat it, you must feel it, think it, relive it, and you must exercise it. And in your consciousness, you become, then you are fit for getting liberation. You cannot get liberation by thinking I am God. You will get more entangled. Double crime. You did this crime and you came here, and then how can you get out by having the same crime done again? Therefore, Prabhupada is saying, you must know who is God, you must know your relationship with Him, and you must serve Him, become His servant, then the door of liberation will open for you. So what an important instruction he is giving. Very rarely people give this type of instruction. Most of Hinduism is about becoming God. You see, most of them will tell you God in terms of being God. You will become one with God, we are all God, that, this and all. All completely wrong actually. It's only the Vaishnavas who will tell you that God is separate, I am a servant, I must serve Him. So Krishna is explaining technically here. This is first shloka in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Aham eva sameva gre. In the beginning, I only existed. After everything creation all is over, I only will exist. In fact, I am the only reality. I am the reality. Everything else is dependent on this reality of me. Na anyat. Krishna is saying, Mattah parataram na anyat. There is no truth above me. Kinchidasti dhananjaya. Everything rests on me. Mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana eva. So, we must understand. When we say God, we have all this philosophical understanding or theological understanding. Theological understanding. How do you say Krishna is God? We will say, we'll explain. That's how Krishna is God. Not only philosophy, you must also understand why it is like that. What are the qualities and characteristics and wonderful leelas of Krishna? Why it is like that? When you deliberate on this, when your bhakti grows, you will understand more and more why Krishna is God and why you are not anything to do with God, but His servant. That is your real position. So Brahma is also telling, I hope I will not get out of pride, I will think I am supreme. This is very easy to fall into. In the material, because everybody already has that DNA inside. I want to be God. Material DNA is, I want to be God. That's why I have come here. I want to enjoy. That's why you have come here. So it's very easy philosophy that definitely, it is correct only. This is what I am feeling. I will come here for that only. This is a great illusion. But when we chant Hare Krishna, when we render devotional service to Krishna, that's why Krishna is saying, it can be understood only by devotional service. Sa rahasyam cha angam cha grahana gaditam maya. It has to be understood in conjunction with devotional service. If you serve only, you will become properly situated to understand that I am a servant. It's all very important things. We should develop it from inside. Then we will understand God correctly. Not only do we understand, we can consciously experience that. Who am I? When you, even in the sleeping state, in the dreaming state, if somebody kicks you and say, hey, who are you? You'll say, I am a servant of Krishna. That is correct. That means you become Krishna conscious. If you get up and say, Hare Krishna, I am a servant of Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo Radasa Dasa Anudasa. But our situation is we kick you somebody in the middle of the night. Hey, yada, rascal, I'll kill you, I'll finish you. Who are you? I am God. How did you kick me? That's the consciousness with which you will get up. Correct? But all great souls, breathing, talking, living, sleeping, feeling, willing, dreaming, everything, they have that complete consciousness of I am a servant of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. This is what we are trying to develop. When you develop that, you have full understanding of Krishna. You have full understanding about yourself. Correctly you have understood. Jivera Surupo Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. That is why Krishna is explaining himself again and again. This is how you must understand me. How to understand God is explained by God only. Nobody else can explain. A pure devotee can explain. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyaschashma tatvataha. Only my devotee knows me. You ask him. That's why reading from Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's books is very, very important. Because he correctly explains who God is and who you are. Okay? So don't think this is all very long purport. You must sleep and get up again and read. That's what if you're feeling very sleepy, go to sleep. Finish your sleeping, get up again and read. Again you sleep, again if you want you sleep. But cannot stop reading. You have to read and understand it. You have to read and understand it. Krishna is explaining this. Not only explaining this, he is exhibiting this. And is showing this repeatedly. When Arjuna asked, he showed his Vishwarupa. He convinced him in all possible ways. Finally, you cannot say, I am God after reading Bhagavad Gita. I don't know how people come to this conclusion. I mean, you can see some of these people explaining, I am God after reading Bhagavad Gita also. Repeatedly, Krishna is telling, you are not God. I am God. He is repeatedly telling this. Mamekam sharanam vraja. I am the only person you should surrender to because I am the only one who is God. Not even the Devatas. He is telling that in the 7th chapter. And finally you conclude, I am God. It takes a lot of effort to say this after reading Bhagavad Gita. You're totally off. You're totally off. So we should be careful in carrying out this understanding carefully, and we must execute it in our daily lives. We must try to be good servants of Krishna. Then we will understand better. Om Tat Sat. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any questions? Any comments? That is only one third of the purport we read. I'm sorry.
My question is, if somebody follower, if they say I am God, the motivating factor is I am the limelight. But why when the leader says he is not God, servant of God, why they twist it and make it that?
Because the natural nature of everybody in this world is, I want to be God. So they are okay with that if somebody says I am God. Because they are thinking, very soon I'll also become God when I become self-realized. You are leading me now, I'll also become God. Because that's what he's telling. His teaching is also that you are God, you became God after self-realization, yeah. So I can also, yeah. But I'll keep you under control, make sure that you never realize. Because my power will go away. And what is the use of I am God and you also become God? It will be competition. He will not allow you to become God. Although that is a philosophy. Or they'll go and form their own movement, and there will be a lot of gods, different movements. I am God, I am God. We all can be God. There is a lot of space. They'll have another philosophy like that. If you have an absolutist philosophy, only one, he is only God, then I cannot become God. So I don't like that philosophy. Materialistic idea. Yes, any other question or comment? Yeah.
Maharaj, this knowledge, as the knowledge we gain from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, it increases that by gaining that knowledge, like material, we have reaching our ego that we haven't known other than the normal people we have known. And the age also has is increased that we have experienced a lot of things. So our ego is growing one. So the humility and humbleness, it's not, we are not gaining that actually reading from scriptures and that thing. How should be the real practical humility and humbleness should be learned?
Somewhere I missed it. You said that we are also going outside and we are
By
studying.
seeing the outside people, we think that we know that Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a high class philosophy and everything. So we get the pride of that instead of Lord
That is
told us
good pride.
why tell us.
You should be proud of knowing the truth. Because you're proud of knowing the truth, it doesn't mean that you're stopping others from knowing the truth. Okay? You're willing to share it. Here, I am proud, I am a devotee. I want you also to be a devotee. This is not material pride. The pride of having realized your constitutional position is not material. I am a servant of Krishna. I am proud about it. Because it's a great thing. I have realized I am a servant of Krishna. Because you should know who is Krishna. People here are becoming servant of some great leader here and there, some money man and everything, and they're feeling great about it. So if you become the servant of the Supreme Lord, who is a proprietor of everything, he's telling that Bhoktanam Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatmamam Shanti Mrichati. So that pride brings you Shanti. By knowing Krishna to be like that, and me, I am a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, I become Yayatma Suprasiddhati. I become happy and peaceful. And then when somebody comes and tells you something, you will say, I am proud of being a devotee. Why? Because I am enjoying happiness. And you are not telling him, I am greater than you because I am devotee. You are telling, please read Bhagavad Gita, you also become devotee. There is space for everybody to be servant of the Lord. But there is no space for becoming God. There is only one God. There is plenty of space for becoming servant. That's the point. So you should be proud and happy that you know the truth and you are a servant of the absolute truth, Krishna, and you are serving him. That is a matter of pride, definitely. Why not? Why not? Because that pride is not material. That's not material. Alright? Om Tat Sat.